Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear us? The classical question of the beginning.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
wow.
Can you? Nothing against you, Cheng, but we're gonna still mute you so there's no background noise.
Nothing personal.
Oh yeah, you muted yourself. Nice. And yeah, like the others also can they write that in the chat if they hear everything and if they see us clearly.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
For the ones that celebrate is Easter, and for the rest, something else. Happy Sunday. So yeah, let's just dive right in because we have a lot to cover today. So yeah.
We at
welcome.
first, well, yeah, first welcome again. I'm Julian,
And I'm Carolina.
and well, at first we're gonna start with recapping that what we did last week or last time.
Recapping. That's a word.
Yes, now it is. And last time we spoke about the observe part of the C.O.V.I.D model, and like a step further back, what is the C.O.V.I.D model?
Yeah. I'll hold it.
The C.O.V.I.D model is this thing here. Basically, we start at the current state and go over to the desired state. So what that just basically is it's a model for you to like change the current state you're in into something it just like is more fun for you, or you'd like it more. And so
Desired, your desired
state,
state. Yes.
yeah, just to. And the tools for that are the C.O.V.I.D tools. So basically, observe, visualize, and interact or integrate.
Yeah.
And last time we already covered the observe part, and what that basically was is we focused on everything that you can observe in your surrounding, just to get clear what your current state is. Basically, we started with the example of how do you feel right now? How's your body posture? How's your legs? How do you feel? What is there going on right now? We started from the environment. So, well, even outside of your own body, just like what's in your room, what's in your surrounding. Then going towards how do you feel? What's your body posture? And then continuing with like your thoughts and emotions, and like how do you feel? What thoughts come up? And this is just like the first step on creating or like finding what your current state is in order for the next steps to come.
Yeah. Yeah, and by observing, you actually allow yourself to realize if what you're doing is something that you chose and that you want to continue doing, or you want to change it. And today's webinar is more about that. Like, okay, you have a desired reality, how to inch towards that, or how to create that reality in order for you to move in that direction. One thing that we forgot to say in the beginning, just have handy pen and paper, and we will do, it's going to be a bit longer today, probably about 50 minutes of content and then 15 minutes of Q&A in the end. But if at any point you have questions, just write them in the chat.
Yeah, and well, from last time we started with the observing part, and that was just to see what you decided to have in your life, what you decided to happen, and what else is going on. And now it's then during this webinar the case that we see, okay, where do we want to head, and actively try to adjust this by creating a vision, by creating this future. And we will do that, like just a short overview now, we'll do that with like 3 short visualizations in the whole webinar. So you practice a bit on how to do it, and then in the end also do it yourself so you feel how it is to actually use it and employ it.
Yeah. So the metaphor that we're using for this is like give a man a fish and you feed him for a day, teach a man how to fish and you feed him for the rest of his life, your life. But like we want to do the same. We want to give tools to like for everybody to be able to visualize by themselves and create whatever reality they want to live in. And through visualizing, you can go like a few steps ahead and decide, okay, this is the direction that I want to take. And you don't leave it up to chance or just like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. And then you don't fall back into the standards or like the templates that we have in society, but actually you decide. So yeah, basically creating independent human beings since 2020. Okay.
And well, we're gonna start with just like getting into the mood and a bit relaxed for those exercises that are gonna happen. And we start with a short wake up ritual that we started last time. So now it's a ritual.
It's a ritual officially, yes.
And so for that, we just start by deeping super deeply and just relaxing on the exhale. So you try to just breathe in super deeply and then let everything out on the exhale. And as Carolina already showed last time, we're gonna do the shoulder movement exercise again. So we're gonna like basically rotate the shoulders in both directions and start with the forward rotation. Just like, or that.
What was it? Okay.
that movement. So you just like
so forward up.
Lift you up your shoulders, move it to the front and down, and that to the back, up, and to the front. And up to the front and down. And then you switch the rotation and go up to the back and down. Oops. You go forward, up, back and down. Then you move just a bit. You can also stretch if you feel like it, whatever fits you. And maybe now it's continue with exactly the head rotation. You just move slowly, whatever you feel like your head, to just relax your neck and shoulders, and try to let your shoulders just fall down as much as possible. I hope you are now a bit more relaxed and are ready to continue this webinar with us, because now we're going to start with visualizing what it is and just what it's for.
So when we were thinking about, okay, what is visualizing, then this idea popped up in our brains that it's like worrying but positive. So we are so used to worrying and like just like imagining possible case scenarios that could happen and that might happen, especially in these circumstances. It's like, how long are we going to be quarantined, and how long will this last? Will I get corona? And like all this sort of worrying thoughts that we have, they can also happen on the flip side, like on a positive side. And it's more of a projection of how you want it to be. And the visualization has the added value that you actually can work towards that. Like that's a direction that you want to take, and then you just inch towards it with different steps that you can take, or by simply changing your mindset. So yeah, worrying but positive. And it's about what you want to happen or to have, not about what you don't want. That's the difference with worrying, basically. And in this case, you set the intention to change. When you visualize something, it's because you want to see that happening actually in your life. If you're visualizing in a realistic way, or in a way that we will teach you very soon, it is actually something positive that impulses you towards reaching that goal or that intention. And this is based on imagining. There's the famous quote by Picasso that says that every child is born an artist, and the problem is staying an artist once you grow up. I'm paraphrasing, it's not exactly like that, but it is the same concept. It's like, okay, we learned how to imagine scenarios when we were kids, and we would like create these fantasy worlds and everything. And as adults, we tend to use that imagination, but not for the positive things, but actually for the bad things, or for preventing or trying to be one step ahead of tragedy. So the idea here is like, okay, let's switch it back to creating what's positive and what we want to see in our lives. And going back to the imagination, if you look around your room and you see all the things that you have, and even the walls and the roof and everything was created by someone, because it was imagined before being created. So there is a process where there's an inception of an idea. Okay, what if we create walls that are straight and we put a roof over it, and then it's a house and then we can live in it? Like, somebody actually thought of that, or well, it probably developed, but there was an initial idea. And this is the important part here, that you can have like an initial idea of how you want things to be or where you want to go, and then you can modify it, you can adapt it, like you can improve it. But the important part is that you have an idea and that you act on that. So yeah, that's that's what is visualizing.
And to give you the first idea of how that could look like, we start with a super easy and simple exercise at the beginning. Sorry, technical thingies. And so yeah, the first thing that we're gonna do is we imagine something. For now, it can be anything. Something at tonight, so this evening, something you would like to happen today still. And so that can be anything from something from your to-do list, what you wanted to do, or just like be kind to yourself and a nice meal, or just a relaxation time, or anything along those lines. Completely up to you what you will like to imagine there. And we have like a couple of intentions, or how to set those intentions. And the important parts there are that you center this in you. So whatever you imagine, you have to be sort of in the center, and that's like the best outcome for you, and you have to feel in that moment. Then what I said, like be in that moment, so basically in the present. So you have to imagine it and feel it as if you are in that right now. So you go ahead and imagine, oh, tonight I am feeling like, and then you imagine whatever there is. The third part is to feel, it has to feel good. So you don't want to end up worrying again. So you just worry positively and imagine something good. And the last part is that, well, most of the times it's relatively broad. So you can start by imagining, like I would like to feel in this or that way, or I would like still would like to do something along those lines of taking a walk, but it's still like, okay, how long, where, this is still really open. So try to not be too specific. That's the fourth point.
Sometimes it works for some people that they want to set a goal that's very specific, that they say, for example, well, today I will do 55 push-ups and 35 abs thingies. Oh my god, I don't know the word. And that's really helpful for some people, but the visualization, it tends to be more general. It tends to be something broader that can take different shapes. So this is like some guidelines for the exercise that we will ask you to do now, immediately, and they are in the chat as well.
Hope you can read it.
Think so.
It looks a bit weird though.
Can you read it?
Is that properly readable? You can just
otherwise we
quickly put in the comments whether it is. Otherwise
we can write it down.
Just copy each of them.
Okay, but to recap, the exercise is just to use these guidelines for tonight, something that you want to do tonight, that you would like to happen tonight. And this can be anything from the dinner to watching something, to spending time with someone. Very general stuff. But yeah, just like take a second and visualize what you would like to do this evening.
So, and for that exercise, it's actually really simple. So I would like you to ask, probably you're sitting or lying somewhere or something like that. And so just for the matter of 30 seconds, very, very short time, to close your eyes. Please do that now. Close your eyes, and then whatever you want to have happened in tonight, just imagine that situation and look around and feel how that feels in there for like about 30 seconds.
Well, we have some pretty intense sun coming in. Beautiful day in the Netherlands, or at least in Groningen. We're wearing t-shirts in April.
I'm just imagining right now.
That's fine.
Okay. So, and if you have done that, we hope you had a nice time imagining your evening, whatever there was, and just to get a short view of how kind of easy that is also. But you will see also when you do that more often, or also with the further exercise you will do, it can actually be super powerful. And so that was just like the first overview of this. And slowly we go now into the month perspective. So now it was for this evening, but the next exercise is going to be how you would like to have it in a month. So it might be a bit more difficult, so don't worry if it doesn't work at the first time. But yeah, now we head there.
Yes, because right now it's very difficult to actually plan and say, okay, next week I will do that, or in a month from now I will do this, which is like due to the circumstances that we're living in, there's a lot of certainty, so it's hard to plan around that. But at the same time, there are a bunch of things that are centered in you that you have power over. So this exercise is, again, just like a very simple imagination exercise where you take something that you are doing during this quarantine, and it could be either exercising at your house, or maybe you started painting, maybe you started playing a new instrument, maybe you picked up a hobby, or you would like to pick up a hobby in this quarantine. So it's about choosing something that you enjoy doing, that it's pleasant, that makes you happy, and picturing that in a month from now. So yeah, just think of something that you've been doing that you like, or something that you want to start very soon. And with that idea in mind, you can then again close your eyes, and you can go ahead and see yourself in a month from now. So it's the 12th of May, and you evolved in this area. You became better at playing that instrument, or you became better at dancing, or anything that you're doing. Maybe you are cooking and you created this bunch of new recipes. And just picture yourself in a month from now, And how are you feeling regarding that specific topic, that specific subject? How does it look like as well? Did you just stick with normal practice? Did you just do it maybe a couple of times during the whole quarantine, but still you've managed to evolve? And when you have that feeling, when you are there seeing yourself the 12th of May doing that thing or having improved in that thing, then just set an intention. The intention is to probably get there comfortably, to get there in a way that feels good. So now what you're doing is basically committing to this project, this hobby, this activity that you picked on or that you will pick. And yeah, just like make that commitment with it. And think that by the 12th of May, I am a better cook. I am more neat and my room is clean. I am a belly dancer. Anything. Just remember it has to feel good. Otherwise you won't want to do it. And once you have it, once you know what you want to do, what you want to improve, once you set the intention, you made the commitment, write it down. Make it real. Make it a contract. All right. Hopefully you were able to write a word, a sentence, something down for you to work on this month. No, not work on, just like enjoy or spend time on, or just groove on. Just ignore me. So this is a longer term visualization, and the trick is that you center it in yourself and you make yourself responsible of achieving it. So it's not somebody else. It's like my mom is treating me better, or I don't know, the quarantine is over, or stuff like that. That is out of your control. But what is in your control is basically just like this hobbies, these activities, or your attitudes, your mood, all these different things that you are capable of influencing directly. So yeah, it's basically making a commitment. And when we talk about visualizing, it's important to know why. It's important to visualize? Why is it a useful tool for achieving your desired state or becoming the person that you want to be? And this is because it gives direction. It gives you a place to point and then just move there. And you don't even need to be consciously aware that you're moving in that direction all the time. It can be simply just like the intention to move in that direction, and then you just forget about it. But like a month from now, you realize, oh my God, I'm so good playing the guitar. I didn't even know that this was going to happen, or stuff like that. So it gives you direction. It gives you, it's like a compass that you just like points the north, and then you can just ride in that direction without having to think all the time, okay, what am I doing? Where am I going? So yeah, it's basically that. So you don't leave your life up to chance or up to, well, it happens a lot that we tend to comply to the norms and the templates that society has for us. It's like, okay, let's go to school, let's do this, let's get a job, let's I don't know, let's get a partner, let's have a kid, and all those different things that we are usually fed, that we're told that is the way that it needs to go. And by visualizing and saying, okay, does this resonate with me? Does this align with who I want to be? Does this serve me? Then you can actually decide. It's like, okay, is it really like this the direction that I want to take? Or maybe I want to take another direction and create my own opinion and just like carve my own path. So yeah, this is why it's so important. Otherwise, if we just don't make any decisions, if we don't like see which direction we want to go, then we might just fall into the default, and the default will be like the default for your family or the default for the society that you live in. So yeah, it's quite important to take ownership. And when you visualize, also you clarify for yourself, like, okay, what is it that I want? Where should I put my attention and my energy in? And what is it that I like? What is it that I want to improve in? And the person that I want to become. So it serves both as like the source of creating, like for creating this life, and at the same time it serves as the direction that you need to take, and the clarification, like working, like mashing all those things together to design the reality that you're living in. So yeah, that's basically why we need to visualize, or why it's useful to visualize.
And then maybe just let this sink in. There was a lot of content now. Just like the 3 points that she just mentioned were, it basically gives you direction. It gives you the north on the compass, and like where are you heading. And just by asking this question, where do I want to be in one month, 1 year, any of those questions help you already clarifying, what do I actually want? Where do I want to go? And already that, just asking yourself this question, can have really good effects on you. And then the last one is basically not just be to not drift with the wind, basically, to not let everything around you just determine what you are going to do. Because if you don't make any decision, or if you don't have any direction, then you just follow what others like are going to do, or you just see what others are doing and just do the same thing. And so just by imagining your own direction, that can create the life you actually want. And for that, there are like 4 different categories we just have as an example for you, to make it a bit easier to like pick one, to not focus on how do I want to do my whole life, but just like take one of those categories, or even a part out of those categories, and then look at this then for the next exercise in a year from now. And so we have for you at least like the examples of 4 different categories. And the first one is well-being and personal development. The second one is friends, love, and including friends, family, or romantic relationships. The third one is work, and including there's like action, career, or business, or whatever you have in this realm to, I guess, make money. And the fourth one is then your environment. This can be anything from like how you want to live, like in what kind of house, and like where do you want to travel, who do you want to surround yourself with, and well, basically anything else what you define as a new environment. And so just basically well-being, love, work, and environment. And for the next exercise, you can just pick one of those categories, and then we will guide you to like a 1 year visualization. And I tried to write it again in the chat.
Yeah, so you have the categories available, but
exactly.
just again, well-being and personal development, love, work or career, and environment. Those are the main categories. There are probably other things, and if you can think of another area of your life that you would really like to visualize a change, or I don't know, like just switch it up, maybe change it because it's not suiting your your current, like in your current reality. So yeah, just choose something that you would like to have a different perspective on, or that you would like to maybe change for the future. So the categories are available now in the chat, and yeah, if you want to choose one of those, then feel free to do it. And if you want to create your own, that's also awesome, actually.
Mhm.
And within the category, just try to think of a couple of things that would represent that category. For example, in work, like action, career, business, maybe you are not satisfied with your current job, or maybe you are looking for a job or something, and then you would like to get it, or you would like to change the job. So it's like, to make it more specific, it could be like that. Or for example, in love, then maybe you would like to revise a relationship that you have with a family member that you don't get along too well, and maybe you want to become more patient, more loving, more caring, or find a way to tolerate them better. But yeah, just those are a couple of examples of how it can look like. So once you have it, once you know which area you want to work on, we will start with the visualization. So for this, just get comfy. So we'll go on a ride. When you're ready, close your eyes and start focusing on your breathing. Feel your belly expand and contract. Try to feel any parts of your body that are standing out. Is something itchy? Are your pants tight? Are your feet cold? And with the same awareness that you can notice that, let's start noticing the rest of the body. We begin by the feet. And try to go from like one foot. Concentrate on each finger. So you go to the thumb and the rest of the fingers. You might not feel anything. They might not stand out. But it's just the intention of noticing. That you know that they are there. I'll do the same with the other foot. your knees, your thighs, your butt, your belly. Try to concentrate in it a bit. Did you eat today? Did you have good food? Chocolate? And continue moving up. Think of your chest, your shoulders, your arms. Again, first go for the right arm. And try to feel every finger. And then switch to the other arm. And try to feel every finger. Go up your neck, to your face. Are you cringing or holding somewhere? Are you pressing your eyebrows together? Your jaw? Something? If you are, it's okay, but try to relax it. Relax your forehead. And try to feel the top of your head, your tallest point. Now let's start imagining that if you're sitting, you stand up, and if you're standing, you start walking towards the door of your house. Just take whatever path you need to around your house. Try to really imagine what you see when you're going towards the door. And then reach towards the door. If you're already outside, that's wonderful. Try to feel the air and the ground underneath your feet. If you live in a building, then you can take the elevator or the stairs and get outside. You might hear some birds singing. You might smell the smell that your city has. And then start walking towards the street where you see a vehicle. And this vehicle has any shape you want. Try to really picture it. The color, material, and get closer and get in. And this is a magical vehicle. because it drives itself. So you can look through the window to the outside and just relax. Now the vehicle starts moving around your city. And as the blocks pass by, you start also seeing days pass by. You feel the calendar is moving forward. And it's the 13th of April, the 15th, the 20th. It's May. And the seasons start to change. Temperature changes. The environment changes. You continue moving forward. And there's June. There's July. August. September. And again you feel the seasons changing. What is the temperature like? What is the nature doing? And you continue moving. October, November, December, and we switch to 2021 and try to picture how that happens for you. You with your family, with your friends, with a loved one. And then move forward into January. What's the weather like? Temperature, nature. February, March, and April. You're living in the same day, but 1 year later. It's the 12th of April of 2021. And now it's time to pick the category that you wanted to visualize. Is it related to work, related to family, related to your personal well-being? And really see that area of your life. In the 12th of April of 2021. You had a year to work on it. You've made small changes every month, sometimes every day. And now it accumulated to significant changes. How does that look like? Try to feel how you feel when you changed. just embody that sensation. Be aware that you can do it, that you always could do it. You just have to be patient and work tiny steps to get where you are now. So when you're happy with the insights that you got and how it feels and how you got there, let's go back to focusing on our body. In which position are you in? And now pay attention to your breathing. Feel the air coming in and the air going out. And when you're ready, prepare yourself to open your eyes and write down what your visualization looks like. So, hello. With the feeling that you have of traveling to the future and being in the future, try to print that into a paper. Try to download it. And this can be with a suggested narrative of by the 12th of April of 2021, I have made peace with my aunt. I have learned how to speak Portuguese. I have 5 new friends. Well, that's too specific, but I have new friends. And again, we write it down to make a commitment to the future self. And this is independent of the circumstances. So things might change in your life, but if there's something that you really, really want to work on, you always have the chance to do it. So yeah, we will give you a minute to write down if you still weren't able to.
Or to just breathe and
Or just breathe.
let everything sink in.
If you've finished, maybe let us know in the chat, done or something, so we know that we can continue. Perfect. Thank you. Then to do a recap for today.
So what we basically discussed today was how this visualization, this almost projecting into the future, this positive worrying, how that can be done just by the example of how it is to visualize your meal in the evening. And just remember how easy it is, just like a situation that you want to happen in a couple of hours. And then we also explained like the intentions, like the directions you're setting with this visualization has to be centered in you, has to be in the present, has to feel good, obviously, and should be probably most of the time relatively broad instead of too specific. And then we went over to the visualization of the month, or in a month from now. And there we explained like why can visualization be so important. And there are like 3 major themes that we picked were it gives you a direction, like basically the compass needle towards something where you feel you want to have it, or where you feel, okay, that's a future I would like to live. The second was clarify your own goals, or basically just your future, by just asking yourself the question, where do I want to actually head? This can have like already some positive impacts. And what it also helps you with is it takes you off just like drifting with what everybody else is saying, and you just think for yourself, okay, what do I personally actually want, and what future would suit me actually. And then we went over those categories that we just gave you as an example of well-being and personal development, love, work and environment, that you can use in visualizations when you also want to continue doing that for yourself. And then with connecting the intention and this visualization, you create this commitment and almost this plan to action to actually make it happen. That's basically what happened in today's webinar.
Yes. And well, this is again part of the C.O.V.I.D model that has different tools that we use to get from our current state to our desired state. So there are 3 tools that we talk about in this webinars. The Observe was the first webinar, the last week's webinar. Then Visualize, that was today, and next week is Integrate and Interact. So this is integrate because we will use Observe and Visualize and merge them together, because well, you can observe your current reality and you can visualize what is going to happen afterwards, or what you would like to happen afterwards. But you want to merge them today to the present moment to see, okay, what can I do today to move in that direction, or how can I activate this this ship that is going in that way. And then the interact comes with, okay, like once you integrated the observing and visualizing, you create a plan and then you interact with the environment to make it happen. So that's what's going to happen next week. It's the last tool of this model. But after that, we will continue one more webinar with a bit more information on the current state and setting intentions.
Yes. And so basically, if there's really just like 1 or 2 things that you should keep in mind from this whole webinar, is really how important it can be to visualize your future, what your intentions in this direction are, so where do you actually want to head. Just already clarifying and setting this can be super, super beneficial. Yeah. And yeah, another part is then just that the visualization can be actually very easy, and you just like pick any of those categories and do it for one of them, and just try it out for yourself and see what it does to you. Yeah, that's actually it. Like just visualization can be super helpful, and maybe try it yourself.
Yeah, and it's like choosing a direction. That's the thing. So you're not floating around just like, okay, this person called me, this person wants me to do this, my work just like it's overwhelming me. No, it's okay, what do I want? Where do I want to go? And then that's your compass, I would say. So good. We have about 5 to 10 minutes. It went a little bit longer than expected, but we have about 5 to 10 minutes for questions. So if any concept was not clear, or if there is any specific thing that you would like us to repeat, please let us know in the comments. The comments? The chat. What's the comments? We're not in YouTube. We're in blue jeans.
It can also just be anything you wanna ask about the whole model, or just how this session went if you had difficulties and want to do something else again, or maybe just tips on how to do things better. Can also just ask that in the chat.
Or if there are no questions, which is also an option, then you just say, okay, bye now. Can you please send the recording? Yes, we will send it to everybody present.
Well, if they sign up on the website, then we send it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, if you didn't sign up in the website, yeah, I think you are. Yeah, but if you didn't, you can sign up in the website, and then we will send you the recording. So Jack sent a question. Let's say I was not able to achieve what I set out to do. When that day next week comes, how can I fight the feeling of underachievement? You know, like there is a funky thing with intentions. When we set them, we tend to forget them because they are so natural. They are just like they come so comfortably and fit into our lives that we tend to forget them, and then they happen, and then it's like, okay, when did this happen? How did I make this happen? And if you are feeling like you need to do it, if you're feeling like it's like a weight on you that is hard, like just like basically like a lot of work, then it's not a good intention. It's probably just like too heavy or too tainted with either negative feelings or a lot of pressure. So how can I affect the feeling of underachievement? You basically try not to get it.
I think one important part is like when you try to achieve something, it should be as easy as possible, because the biggest part is that you actually just do something that improves the situation or makes it more likely to happen. And as you say, if like there's a huge burden, or you have the feeling of underachievement, then you're like less likely to continue, or you feel like you don't want to engage in it because it's like a thing you could have done better, or but this is like a lot has to do with those expectations that you think, oh, I should have done this better, or I should have achieved that. But there's really, maybe, I'm just maybe guessing, there could be like a mismatch between what you think for you personally you want to achieve and something what you think somebody in your position should achieve.
Yeah.
And at least what helps me there a lot is just like try to be kinder to yourself, like and see, okay, maybe the goals were just like set too high. And what I really do is like setting the bar really low and try to like make super tiny steps and super relatively low goals actually, that I keep going and achieve them. And with that, I just build up this momentum that I want to continue working on some goals, rather than feeling underachieved, because that's like a feeling that holds you back in progressing. And so instead I personally do just like super small goals and make it super easy.
Yeah, and what you said about like the feeling of not achieving a goal can also give you this like fear for setting goals, like okay, I don't want to do it because if I fail, then I'm a failure. And the thing is, if you are setting goals that if you don't achieve, you will feel bad, then no, try to rephrase them, make them flexible, make them broader, which is like, for example, when I said like I have 5 new friends, it's not, no, like I have new friends, I have new good friendships or something like that, or I rekindled an old friendship that I forgot it existed. And then this just makes it broader and easier to achieve, and it doesn't put too much pressure on you to perform, let's say.
Something I like happened to me super often when I like was trying to set morning routines, and then was like, okay, this morning I need to meditate for an hour. And then it's like, oh fuck, I still need to meditate an hour, already like 20 minutes late, and it's like, then my whole day gets, so it really puts pressure on you to like then achieve that. And so right now, literally what I set in the morning to do is like, just the first thing, I'm gonna journal. Doesn't matter how long, usually ends up to be super long, but it's just like, I just want to write, I don't know, for a minute or 2. That's it, that's the whole goal. Just like every morning for a minute writing, that's it. And so once you start that, then you already are in the action and continue doing, and it's a lot easier rather than setting the goal of I need to journal or meditate for an hour.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining.
And for the awesome
and
question.
For the awesome question,
because,
which prompted a lot of new information.
Because obviously we struggle with that a lot too.
Yeah, we can relate. That's why we sort of created this new method, this new guidelines, so it doesn't feel hard to visualize your future. That it's like not putting pressure on yourself and like just not caging you up, but actually just like prompting you to become better. Like anything that's more aligned with yourself than today, then that's a huge improvement.
Yeah, if any other question still comes up, you can maybe message us or I don't know, something like that. Because now we're over an hour already.
So we are ending this. Yeah.
Basically, yeah. just for your information, again, what we said about the recording. Thank you for the recording. For everybody who like sign up through the website, so somehow we have the email address. We're gonna send them the link of the recording once it's uploaded. Mm-hmm. And also, if you wanna get the invite for next week's webinar, basically also sign up through that same email. Once we have it, we send you the email probably then on the Friday or Saturday before, so get the link where you need to go for interact and integrate for the next webinar.
Yes, next Sunday.
And for all others too.
Yeah. The whole quarantine has webinars.
Yes.
So we will still talk even after the COVID model is done. So
if you don't have anything else to mention, we thank you a lot for joining us this time again, and I hope to see you next week.
Have a great Sunday or Easter Sunday. Easter Sunday. Bye.
Hope you can still enjoy it. Bye.
Bye.